like ours where we have enough downtime to run a reasonable number of ads. Like, if you're like a variety stream or you're just streaming your gameplay, it doesn't make sense because taking breaks drops viewership, etc. But here in this tournament sort of format, you know, players need breaks between matches. It takes time to videos, it takes time to get into another match. So it makes a bit more sense to kind of take some breaks and all the rest of it as well. If you're wondering what's coming up for the rest of the week as well on the channel, just quickly before we introduce the players, well, tonight I'm probably going to be doing some laddering tonight. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday we'll be covering the JJAKJI Penthouse Party. Monday we will be doing Underdog Season 33 playoffs. Tuesday go for SC2 Monthly. So Wednesday is the sub tournament. And Thursday is a brand new WardiTV Weekly. So we all have got a busy week ahead of us. And then we've got another weekend, and then it's Challenger League week yet again. European Challenger League only 2 weeks away. How insane is that? Guys, let's introduce some players. Bottom right hand side of our grand finals today. Map number 1, Odyssey. That was just the worst order of words ever. Map number 1 is Odyssey in our grand finals today, and in the bottom right hand side is the red Terran player. Opening CC first, it is JJAKJI. His opponent top left, the blue Protoss player, Hurricane. Looking to see what he can get up to. Of course, JJAKJI currently representing Team Revolution. If you're watching the Team League last night, they put themselves into a great potential position to move through into the playoffs. So that's something to team to watch out for. And obviously with a player like JJAKJI on their side, alongside Hero and Steed as well, and Pet, they are not unbeatable, but a force to be reckoned with would be a suitable description, I imagine. Team League will be heating up over the next couple of weeks as we get it back on track. We'll be bringing you guys a whole bunch of games from that in the near future. As you just see this probe running on around. Hurricane just dodging, darting away from this SCV. He wants to try and just stay alive early. Nothing really too surprising, nothing really too crazy. Just scouting out and seeing what's up in these early stages. CC going to be finishing from JJAKJI as well. Second Rax will also be finishing in just a few moments' time. And I mean, to be expected. It's actually interesting. 2 racks and 1 gas rather than the triple racks into double gas here. It's a little bit strange, a little bit interesting. Kind of just a different way to go about it. He's going to go immediately into the reactor tech lab. So it's a kind of a nice little medium. I'm going to see the third rack still start down now eventually. Still we'll get into that. As the SCV just scouts that too. So far for Hurricane. Nice standard. Nothing really too surprising at all. Just nice standard stuff. This SCV will go down. Just mean all adept. Couldn't just let the SCV get away for once, man. He has to be always has to get the last hit and always has to get the kill. SCV went down a hero though. He's the man who gets to tell the Terran player, hey, guess what, man? You're not being proxied. Hey, it's a macro game. Robo Twilight opening, as Hurricane will just go for most likely the blink-based opening here. With the Robo earlier and then a Twilight, Blink makes a lot more sense. With the faster Twilight like we saw in Ascension to Aya that he just played against Keen, the Resonating Glaives is the more kind of likely upgrade from the Twilight. I myself was kind of convinced it was going to be a Dark Shrine from the get-go, but again, it just makes more sense. Like, with Blink, you're not really looking to all in, you're just looking to stay safe, so the Robo is also kind of a tool which you use to stay safe. Whereas with the Glaives, you're looking to get damage done, so the earlier you get it, the better it generally is going to be. See, nice catch on the Adept. It gets 1 kill, but only 1 kill, and he did have to pull some SCVs in. It was a little bit messy momentarily, but it was a good pickup, and he does confirm the kill on the Adept as well as a follow-up. So good stuff by JJAKJI. This was good from him. I feel this was impressive. Dark Shrine is going to be dropping down then from Hurricane. This maybe wasn't quite what I was expecting this time around. Here's me all like, yeah, high and mighty. He's going to macro with a Blink opener. He throws down the Dark Shrine instead, so Hurricane will change things up just a little bit right here, so... I mean, I imagine after this probably will be Blink still as a follow-up. I mean, you don't just make Dark Templar and just only make Dark Templar. There was a Danish player for a while that did that, but he's not been playing for a while as far as I'm aware, so... this should just be the DT play into a Blink. I mean, again, I guess it could be Glaives as well, but... actually, it could be Glaives if he keeps harassing with the Warp Prism. But Blink is a much safer way to kind of be solid back at home. To start dealing with the Terran's harassment, which is going to be pretty powerful pretty shortly. Stim already finishing, you'll have a pretty quick combat shield as well. And his first medevacs are looking to be about a minute away, with 20 seconds left to build on the starport, plus 40 seconds or so of medevac build time, a bit less. You know, it's about a minute or so until the medevacs are out and moving across the map. Nice split from JJAKJI here initially. Problem is, well, actually there isn't really a problem. He's got the scan energy on 1 orbital. He has a turret on the natural as well, so he's very safe in that direction. So it's actually pretty nice. JJAKJI is set up well initially. That DT will drop down, and as he hears the first swipe, he'll just go for a quick scan, I think. Clean that up very convincingly. Did he just drop a mule? Wow, he just dropped a mule in the natural. It's very unfortunate timing, actually. He just dropped... wow, that could not have gone worse. I mean, it could be worse. He could have not... Well, yeah, it couldn't have gone worse given the situation, actually. SCV is going to keep on dropping. I mean, this turret's about to come up, and he will get the kill with the sim to confirm it. Losing a depot as well. 7 workers, 8 workers, and a depot. And obviously, he's had to kind of run around a little bit. He'll scan. He might not even get... He won't get that DT. This was good by Hurricane. This was a good way to start kind of getting things set up initially, so... This goes well so far. Combat shields will continue to come on in here now off of JJAKJI's racks. So combat shields continue to come on up, and it's going to be seen back at home. Hurricane going into the next stage of his game, which is a forge. He's already saturating his third base, which is finished up in the meanwhile. So third base is going, and again with Blink finishing up, he's getting into that next stage of his game where he's going to feel very confident. Now double medevac drop across the map. He'll be looking to get something done. He'll have to save up scans to make sure you can scan aggressively to clean up DTs, which are used defensively. Looks as though JJAKJI expected the third base to be down here right now, but it is not going to be the case. The third base being taken over to the far left-hand side instead. JJAKJI can now instead, though, drop in towards the main, and Stalkers, they do have Blink, and they are going to pick up a medevac, maybe, perhaps. It's very close. It just gets away. Overcharge comes in a little bit late, Mothership Core. A little bit late to the party right there, buddy. A little bit late. So the 2 medevac's unsuccessful, and JJAKJI not going to find any sort of counter-attack damage with this drop. He goes into +1 armor. He's already got the +1 weapons. That's something which is, I guess, a little bit advantageous, already having the first upgrade of the game against 0 upgrades. So that's a small little lead for JJAKJI moving forwards. Obviously an upgrade lead is something which generally sort of survives throughout the game as well. Nice cleanup on the Prism as well. Perfect play with the Viking. Moving forwards and microing just right to get the final shot off there at the very end. So that worked out nicely too. JJAKJI just making the most of it. And you might not, if you're kind of newer to StarCraft 2 and trying to figure out what's going on, the reason that was nice micro is that when the unit stops and starts, there's like an acceleration speed. So instead of just going its max speed, it's sort of, you know, it'll stop, fire, and then start to move again. So what JJAKJI was doing is he was microing it in ways that he would stop to attack and then click to move at the perfect time, so that before it decelerated properly, it was moving again. So it's nice, and it's needed to be able to keep up with War Prism, something that does move much faster than a Viking. So it's pretty much the only way he was going to be able to get rid of that there. So that was nicely done. Hurricane with a large army start to gather towards the center. Glaives on the way up. A lot of bio coming up top though. I mean, it looks as though we might see... That's so cool, the Marines making little splashes when they walk in the water. Pool time, guys. It's time for a bath. It's nice to have a map with water on it. Usually maps with water kind of get forced to make the water kind of be removed because of graphical issues, but this water's quite nice. And, yeah, it's nice to see some water again. Feels like good old first edition of Ohana. First time Ohana came on the map. I mean, a lot of people remember Ohana. I think what a lot of people don't remember is Ohana with like massive oases of water in it. And we'll see JJAKJI stimming away from this engagement. Liberator's going to be his savior for the next couple of moments. But yeah, Ohana used to have massive puddles of water kind of next to the watchtowers as well. I'm never going to get to talk about Ohana properly because this depth shading is happening. The Liberators are taken down, and while these Marines are starting to just get absolutely crushed here. +1 armor down doesn't really matter. JJAKJI will be retreating to try and just get away from this. But the fact he's trying to land his third base, but then he can't, he has to pull away against a Protoss who has taken a 4th as well. Does not really bode well, but we've seen this once already today. Hurricane against Keen, game 1 on Proxima. Question is, can JJAKJI find a way to defend for long enough to do something, you know, to kind of do what Keen did, which was to kind of come back from what was a very large Protoss army that was being very aggressive and very successful. And Keen made it happen. It is again a map where this map you can't, I guess that's the issue, you can't defend 3 bases easily with the Liberators on this map like you can on Proxima Station. And we sort of talked about that back then. Either way, we see this attack coming in. A lot of SCVs going down already. Meanwhile, this large drop across the map will get rid of the third base, so it turns into a bit of a base trade. The thing is, though, Hurricane now just warps in units defensively at home, and he's just shutting down. He's already shutting down the production of his opponents, so he's able to just shut down the production here. I'm actually surprised we see so much going back home for Hurricane. I'm surprised he doesn't stay in the main base and just continue to kill so much more of the racks, etc. Let's see probes pulling into. I mean, as soon as he cleans out this drop, it's pretty much the last effort of JJAKJI being kind of shut down in this, because he still has adepts across the map. He actually, in the end, Hurricane left kind of the right amount back at home. He's left enough adepts to keep on cleaning out units as they come out, and just putting the rest home just in case he needs it, just to make life a bit easier. Scan available with DTs, though they still do a good amount of damage, just softens these units up, allowing the rest of this clean on out. Hurricane types out, sorry, JJAKJI types out G. Well then, top left-hand side, our Blue Pros player is Hurricane. And he is going to be going up against the Red Terran player, covered in snow to the bottom right. It's JJAKJI. Pros player is covered in snow as well. You just can't see it quite as easily on the next as on the red command center. So this is the natural expansion. And I'll give you guys a little hint as to what is wrong with this natural expansion. Look at the natural. Look at this base. You see what's missing? Yes, it's a gas geyser. And there's also, you might be able to count, a few more mineral patches than usual. So rather than an extra gas, you get 2 extra mineral patches on your natural, which is different, to say the least. I mean, I guess you could probably expand out here as well. So what, this base is obviously going to be way more abusable though. Low ground, which hits the mineral line. So you can either take this base and get double gas, or you can take this base and just have a single gas. It's a little bit interesting to see what's going to be, and I think Hurricane just says, yeah, we're not gonna mess around with that. We're just gonna be taking double gas. Music's a little bit loud, guys. No worries, I can turn the music down a little bit. Music has been very loud apparently the last few days. Let me know if that's a little bit better, as we do see Hurricane just gonna ignore the whole kind of setup of the map and the intricacies of different minerals per gas per base, and he's just gonna play the proxy. I mean, JJAKJI will be a little bit happier with this sort of lack of a second gas. I mean, it's not as influential for a Terran player. It's still interesting though. I feel as though gas limited on 2 bases is very weird. I feel as though gas being limited on a 3rd base would be much more reasonable and respectable, in the sense that, you know, if you try and, how do I want to say this? Like on the 2 bases, you'll be really limited as to your build, whereas on 3 bases, it may limit further production, but at least you're able to get into the build kind of normally. JJAKJI finds the pylon here. Well, that's obviously a huge scout right from the get-go. Doesn't see the Stargate on the low ground. But obviously, just seeing the pylon already is great information, and he will now pick this up. So, the score is indeed wrong. For some reason, Hurricane's score disappeared. I obviously pressed set the score twice. If you set to press the score twice, it disappears. So, apologies for that, guys. It is indeed 1-0 for Hurricane. So yeah, it's a little bit weird. There used to be what was the map? There was like a space station-y map that IPL used that had rich Vespine geysers, and they had a base which had free gas on it as well. That was broken. That was like super broken for Zerg. It was just like late game Zerg just took that base. They were just like, yes, gonna make all the Broodlords. What was that map? It looked like a teddy bear. Can anyone remember? It was used back in the IPL days. You spawned top right and bottom left, and it was symmetrical from top left to bottom right, so that there was like a bottom right base that was only one of. So it was an uneven number of bases on the map. Can anyone remember? I'm trying to think. Anyways, was it it feels like it was like Atlantis space station or something. Anyways, Hurricane moving through into the natural expansion with this Oracle. JJAKJI doing the right thing, which is just evacuate the natural right away. I'm just going to focus on defending the main with a Viking and some Marines, and yes, until that Oracle's poked away, he's going to minimize the SCV losses. One worker going down. Viking, Oracle, sorry. I was going to say, he can stick around for a little while in the mineral line and get, take a couple of shots, but obviously not from a Widow Mine. 2 kills, and that will be that. This Reaper from JJAKJI. Going to loop around the top side. The Adepts are going to chase that Reaper away. And this Oracle from Hurricane looking to see what else is going on as well. Coming in towards the main base, we see the Vikings starting to attack, and just going to be finishing on an SCV with this second Oracle. Phoenix production starts as... I guess that's one way to get around it. He's going to take the gold base, and this gold base, by the way, has 8 mineral patches. And they're all 1500? What? Oh man, this map is dumb. This map is real dumb. Are these all 1500? I mean, I guess this is super risky, obviously, to take this base, but they're all 15. This is just dumb. This is stupid, right? I'm just gonna straight up say it. Like, there's experimental, and then there's just straight up fucking broken. Like, Prion Terraces was actually a really cool map, but it was so experimental that it was just dumb. And I think this is exactly the same. Like, why do you need a 8 mineral patch gold base? Like, so stupid. Generally, one of the disadvantages of taking a gold is that it's a bit more kind of vulnerable, which I guess this is sort of. I mean, it's choked up kind of entering it though, and the mineral line's pretty safe. So it's choked up to enter, but the other thing about gold is that it mines out much faster, so you get that economy boost for a short amount of time, but if you don't take advantage of it, then you've got to take another base at some point. Having a 8 mineral patch gold base, and they're all 1500 minerals, that's better than any other base on the map. And it's not even that exposed. Really. You can take a watchtower to kind of keep yourself kind of viewing it as well. I mean, I know you're the low ground versus the high ground, but I'm just going to straight up and say it. Like, how the fuck do they keep making these map rules so stupid? Why is this in the map rule? There were so many other cool maps in the Team Liquid map contest. To see this engagement is going to start happening. The Phoenix are very late, slow to actually just lift up the siege tank, and we are going to see JJAKJI continue to engage into this. It's a very, very close fight. The tank in the back is just saving the day right now. Mothership Core comes forwards, though. He needs to get rid of that SCV built in the bunker. If he gets rid of the bunker, he can just clean this out. If the bunker was to finish, that would be problematic, as he will pick up the kill on the tank. The rest of these units are going to stay back. There's a defense from Hurricane, and JJAKJI now going to try and take a third. But just look at the income. Oh, look, I took a gold base, and look how much I just jump on up. Absolute insanity. Like, this is just dumb. Why? Like, I mean, I hate to rant about maps, because I feel as though I always rant about maps, because Blizzard never make a good map pool. There were so many good maps in the Team Liquid map contest, and the fact that this made it in instead is crazy. And, you know, I think it's cool. Like, this is like a cool map, but this is not a map that should be on the ladder. This is so stupid. I can't get over this gold base. Like why? Like it takes, like, it's a double experiment. First of all, a gold base with 8 patches, and then a gold base that has more minerals in it than a like normal base. Come on, it's stupid. I don't know. I'm all for experimenting, but I don't think experiments should be done in competitive ladders maps. I don't know. Anyways, gold mines out faster though. Right, sure, the gold mines out faster because they take 7 minerals a time. But that means, but the problem is there's 1500 minerals on each patch, right? So I don't know exactly how the math works, but it means that you're gonna get, by taking this base and mining out this base, you're gonna get way more money than mining out a normal base. And you're gonna get that way more money much faster in the game as well. I don't know, like, the thing is, like, a gold base is advantageous because it takes less workers, and, you know, you get some minerals faster for a while, but it's got negatives too. This has no negatives to take. Like, again, it's a bit more vulnerable. I don't know, I mean, okay, I'll give it some more games, but I'm just going straight up to say for now, I think it's stupid. Let's get back to talking about what is happening in the game, rather than complaining about maps. We see the Prism is about to pop out, and it is going to be coming in towards the front. I'm just going to be looking to see what's going on. So Prism coming in through the center. And see if you Adepts continue to warp in. I mean, free bases are set up for JJAKJI as well. Again, he's going to be pretty behind on the income for the most part, though, for the time to come. And, well, we're just going to be seeing a push across from Hurricane. I don't think he can really break the front. Double bunker. Wouldn't mind out front as well. I love the snow, by the way. The snow's really pretty. In terms of how the map looks, I'm not sure about the red, but I love the snow. I think it's really cool. I'm just going to be seeing these units from Hurricane just moving around, looking to see what's up, looking to see what's happening. Prism just get pushed away to the right-hand side. I don't know if I really don't think Hurricane can break the 3 bases. I actually looked at this map. I haven't really looked at this map, I guess, in terms of free bases, but in terms of free bases, it's pretty solid to defend. I mean, obviously there's a bit of a back entrance, but it's super choky. No one's going to attack through here, realistically. This position down on this low ground up into the mineral line could be dangerous, but as a Protoss player with a Depth Stalker Sentry, that's not a dangerous position as it stands right now. So, pushing forwards, the Depth's going to try and break the front. There is a gap in the wall at the moment. Oh dear, well JJAKJI is currently got a lot of his units. Oh, actually, this JJAKJI doesn't seem to have many units at all. Where's JJAKJI's units? Oh, there they are. There's a bunch of them in the main base still. And that means the third base is just going to get wiped out here pretty much instantly. 22 SCVs going down. Hurricane is going to also intercept these units of JJAKJI coming back home with these extra depths. He actually doesn't realize it. Now he responds. More units trying to drop to the low ground. Some of depths in the main. 31 workers now killed. JJAKJI will start to clean up the army. Nice force field. He'll start to clean up the army, but has he lost he lost the CC, right? Losing the CC is pretty painful. We're going to see another force field. He just get rid of this Liberator as well. I mean, I guess units from the back should help to clean up, and again, I think JJAKJI will get rid of this army. It's all going to be about this counterattack. More depths coming forwards. It's a bruised and battered Terran player, though. A bruised and battered Terran player who has to make something happen shortly, or he's going to just continue to fall heavily behind in terms of economy over the next few moments. So, continue to set up into this and see what will happen in the next few moments. See whether Hurricane can indeed hold off after... I mean, he lost quite a lot of his army, but it wasn't like he lost a lot of expensive tech. We're talking about him losing Stalkers and just gateway units in general, you know? Again, a Depth Stalkers, a couple of sentries just gathering together here. Sitting in towards the center of the map. We'll see this Bioforce from JJAKJI going to be moving up, and it's just going to be taking down. There's a Depth on the Watchtower. The Depth will shade forwards and again try and jump on top of this Bio from JJAKJI. So coming in, Stalker's going to blink on forwards. He will catch a few of those Marines and Marauders, and they will indeed start to fall on down. I mean, I think this is it. Hurricane again, incomplete, has been ginormous throughout the entirety of the game. And so he's just going to be approaching forwards. He played the map well. I liked it. Doesn't take this base, which has just got more minerals but less gas initially, which would have hurt him. Opened up aggressively, which gave him map presence to take the gold base, which is very powerful, we've decided. And just sort of played it from there. A lot of fire gateway units with very strong... It was pretty fun. What I don't think is fun is having a competitive ladder map basically just be a massive experiment. And just basically ask players to just do dumb shit and just probably be massively imbalanced for some reason. I'm sure we'll see some probably interesting and cool strategies coming from it, but I don't know. I suppose it depends. Like, from a viewership perspective, it could be pretty fun. You know, if it creates different, fun games, from a viewer, it could be fun. As a player, like, have fun creating completely new builds just for one map, which hopefully will not be in the ladder map pool for more than a season. See you guys in... See you guys at the end of WCS Summer, WCS Yonkoping in the Grand Finals, Game 7, when we go to Blood Boil. That'll be fun. Who comes up, literally, whoever comes up with the dumbest strategy wins, more or less. Anyways, we're going to put that past us now. Let's go into this third game. It is 2-0 for Hurricane. He's on match point. He's the Red Protoss player in the top left side of the map. Bottom right is going to be the Blue Terran player. It's JJAKJI. Like the map, creating a micro meta specific. Is it really micro meta though? It's just like, I mean, for me, it's just like you take the gold base and then you laugh at how many units you have. I don't know. Like again, I'll wait and see more games to kind of. I'll be intrigued to see more games in it, but I'm not too sure. The thing is though, you can veto it out, but like in a competitive environment, you can't necessarily veto it out all the time, and that's where my issue is, because if you're the first to veto, you've basically got to veto Blood Boil unless you feel as though you've got a dumb strategy to play on it. So it does force your hand in vetoes way more heavily than a normal map would. And of course, if we get a best of 7, such as in the WCS finals, then maybe you can't veto it out, and then it becomes a bigger issue as well. It's weird, man. It's weird. Like my taste in music, never heard any of these bands or songs before, but definitely like them all. Glad you like them, mate. If you want to check out my music, I'll give you a music link in the chat if you want to check it out. Anyways, Stargate on the way up here, early from Hurricane. Revolution's JJAKJI is just going for the racks into a factory. His expansion is also on the way down, just over halfway done. So, early game TVP looking to be standard back to normal, rather than some of the craziness we've been seeing in the last couple of games so far. So Reaper is coming in towards the upper left-hand side. I thought he was about to reach a Adept. The Adept is there. As you just see this probe coming down as well. Going to be seeing the Reaper just run into that probe right away and just going to be picking that off. So probe goes down. Stargate still just building here from Hurricane. And again, Adept just chasing this Reaper away into the main base. So Reaper's chasing towards the main base. Again, Adept's going to split themselves up. And again, Reaper is also just going to be keeping on moving around to see where he can get to next. Oracle starts up from Hurricane on the Stargate. And everything still as we expected it to be for the very early stages of Abyssal Reef. More standard map, more standard build orders. And of course for JJAKJI, do or die at this point of the tournament as Hurricane goes for his second WardiTV weekly win in a row. We did miss WardiTV weekly last week as well, just because it was WCS Austin. I was also covering the VSL on base trade, which was a lot of fun too. If you checked me out doing that, then hope you enjoyed. I'm excited for this week, man. It feels like we've got so much StarCraft to cast out of nowhere all of a sudden. It's really awesome. Really awesome. Oracle's still flying around here from Hurricane, looking to see what is up, what's happening. A couple more gateways coming down from Hurricane 2, and again, just going to see this warp gate is on the way out. So, warp gate going to be finishing. Where's the Oracle? There's the Oracle. So, Oracle comes down towards the bottom right-hand side, and just look to see if he can get some damage. I mean, a few Marines just going to sit in this mineral line. And I'm going to see two more Adepts just moving on out right away. Moving forwards and looking to see what he can get up to. A couple of SCVs do get picked off. As a couple of SCVs get picked off, we're just going to see again Hurricane as well, just coming straight over here is going to just throw down a couple of Oracles. Neither of them really doing too much though. I mean, just going to run into Viking. A few Adepts on the right hand side. Hurricane has been playing rather aggressive today. You know, even in the macro games, he's been going for more aggressive varieties of build orders and ways to play out the build orders. As we can see these Adepts right now try and jump on top of the Marines, and we'll get like a couple of kills. I'm not sure if this is really worthwhile because he's next to the bunker too. This is two Adepts. Yeah, this was a bit messy. It would have been better off going behind the mineral line and then shading out again, I think, because then the Marines would get... I just feel as though he wouldn't have taken so much damage, actually. Bit of a weird moment or two as Twilight and the Forge comes in as a follow-up. We are going to see Phoenix production though. And so for the first time today, we might be seeing some Phoenix Adepts. So see how this goes. Phoenix going to continue building. Again, Twilight is not just being about halfway done. The Forge about halfway done also. So setting up. Looking to see how it goes. Stimpak and combat on the other side as JJAKJI obviously himself wants to get into his nice solid Terran bio mid-game. +1 will be lining up a little bit. Actually, +1's very quick from JJAKJI. So nice quick +1 for himself here. As we see, again, the two Phoenix, the Oracle, moving around to see where he goes. Resonating Glaives, +1 attack on the Forge. Both of these upgrades coming on through then. See, we've seen so much TVP today, actually. It's kind of surprising how much TVP we've seen. It has. Because we saw JJAKJI Hero in the round of 4. We had, well, both semi-finals were from TVP. And we had TVP round of 16. What did we cast round of 8? TVT. Lots of Terran players today. Lots of Terran players today. Oracle and Phoenix not having the best time, actually. He's not committing into as many Phoenix as I thought he would, or as we usually would. He's got a couple more out. I guess actually maybe it's just he hasn't joined them up as I was expecting. Usually you see all the Phoenix together, so only having one, I thought he'd stop building them, but he hasn't. He's got some more continue to come on in, so that's okay. As Widowmine and a few more Marines will gather up on the left-hand side, and well, a little bit of a drop in the main. Actually leaving the medevac to the back a little bit. I'm not sure if that was intentional, maybe trying to avoid Phoenix or something. He's going to target down this Oracle. He's going to get the Phoenix kill as well. Yeah, this is nice. He's also pushing the front, and I'm not sure how well prepared Hurricane is to defend in multiple locations against +1 attack Marines. You can see right now the Adepts are just melting. Stim not even being used on these Marines, just straight up trading way better. As we'll see, the last couple of Marines will get lifted, will get cleaned out. Hurricane defends. He's up 18 workers still, despite this kind of aggression. Hurricane seeing this CC build, I'm surprised he hasn't sent a single Adept forwards just to try and get rid of it. There is a Widowmine here to protect. There's two Widowmines here to protect. But still, you would imagine just one Adept come in, slow it down. It's a little bit late now, though. Hurricane coming in with that idea just a little bit later than he should have done, really. I mean, it's not game ending or anything, he just delayed the CC for a few moments, which is always a great thing. Wouldn't mind picked off the Adept right there. That's what I thought happened originally, but apparently not. Just one kill on the Widowmine. Actually, maybe the other Widowmine had a kill, because I didn't realize there was two initially. Nope, it doesn't. Pylon goes down, as we're going to be seeing a gateway top right. I mean, obviously Hurricane then is very much so going to commit towards this Phoenix Adept playstyle. More Adepts coming in. It's interesting though, because he's building Blink, so I don't really understand the gateway top right. Like, I mean, I guess just faster warp-ins. You don't usually see players kind of investing into that. They proxy pylons, they just leave as a pylon. Slow warp-in, obviously, but just says, it happens, you know. It isn't too important if you're just going to harass with it anyways. It's not like you're going to be warping it in mid-fight or something. A lot of units still kind of in towards the center. And again, I guess Hurricane just getting set up to see what he can establish for himself. Still not many Phoenix, and the Phoenix are an important part of this, and also not having an Oracle anymore is intriguing because it means he's very unreliable in terms of protection against Widow Mines. Generally, the Phoenix and the Oracle are the kind of key to this Adept Phoenix play working because the Phoenix come in and lift a lot of the Widow Mines, allowing the Adepts to move forward relatively, relatively kind of safely, I suppose. As you see, these Phoenix going to pull back. We actually, well, for the most part, it looks as though our kind of Protoss players just sort of not faking pressure, but just taking map control so he does have pressure on the map, allowing him to throw down a Robo Bay back at home, second Robo facility, and a Forge to come on up as well. Wouldn't mind the mineral line. Does actually just hit 5 probes once again too. And there's a little bit of extra damage here as, again, 2 more Liberators just popping out. JJAKJI sending these units around the map and just looking them to see what else they can get up to as well here. Let's just continue to set those up and get them a-rolling. Marines, Marauders, Liberators too. Seeing where they can go. Yeah, there's a little bit of pressure from these Widow Mines is nice. A little bit of drop play just to, again, keep active, keep the Protoss player pinned back. Actually, JJAKJI is way up in supply right now. What's happened in the last few moments? Not really much. Not really much at all. I guess it's just the point in the game where the Protoss player is suddenly teching up into everything at once. 2-2, the Colossus range upgrade, extended thermal lance. So you go, a little bit of a push forwards. Is Hurricane ready to fight? I don't really think he is. Got some force fields. There's actually good force fields to make the most of this, but obviously now JJAKJI can use the position, and Pylons are powering the Robos here, which means the Colossus production will be shut down. Oh, JJAKJI's in too good a position. This is crazy. Both Robos, Adept Shade on top of this army, but there's Liberators in the sky. Hurricane's army will just melt in this scenario, and that is just going to be a very one-sided situation for JJAKJI. Force fields to the left side more or less keep Hurricane away from this situation, as now the Phoenix are going to move on forwards to try and help out as well. Widow Mines are going to try and burrow and keep on burrowing. And if the Phoenix are not careful, they'll probably be picked off here in the very near future. And that's going to be about it, I think. Stalker's still just sort of fighting away, but it's just not going to be enough. JJAKJI has way too many units. GG! Been live every day for a week or something. It's crazy. Let's go into this, guys. Again, we are still on match point for our blue Protoss player who spawns top left here on Ascension to Aya. It is Hurricane. Going up against the red Terran player to the lower right-hand side. Give it up for JJAKJI. Don't know why that keeps freezing like that. A little bit weird. Great job, dude, says Moonra in the chat. Thank you very much, dude. Appreciate the kind words. Glad you're enjoying. As we do see the gate gas coming down from Hurricane. Is JJAKJI going to do CC first again? So obviously what he tried out in the first game of the day, which was Odyssey? Yeah, it was Odyssey, because we were laughing at the units walking through the water. Yeah, so CC first. Something you can do as a Terran player. I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing to go for. Especially on what is... I'm not sure how large this map really is yet, but it feels pretty large, you know? It feels pretty macro favorable and stuff like that. Thank you, Duddles, for the Cheer 100 in the chat. Good game so far, he says. Thank you very much, dude. You know you got onto the Bit Boss board last night, Doddles? You were the survivor. I'm not sure if you were here when the stream ended, but you were the lone survivor on the as a Bit Boss. Congrats, man. You made it. You made it. Is the Wardy Weekly the sub-tournament? No, no, no. Sub-tournament's on Wednesday. It's only open to subscribers or people who've donated. And it's a much smaller prize pool, but it's obviously just for fun as well, generally. Oh man. The Duddles meme. The Duddles meme is so good right now. Oh, Duddles memes. Amazing. Alright, guys. Wardy deserves a 6k donation. Sure, man. Someone donated $6,000. That's literally my aim for donations for the entire year. Done in one donation. So if you fancy donating 6k, very happy to take that one off your hands. SCV gets taken down by this adept, and Hurricane is going to be continuing to move around himself. We haven't really mentioned too much about the follow-ups or anything here, but it has been pretty much just standard 3 rack sort of play after the CC first. This time he does go 3 racks rather than 2 racks, so 3 racks. Well, maybe he didn't actually, but he hasn't gone for the reactor like he did earlier, so looks a little bit different from JJAKJI. Either way, just Impact starting up. Surprised we don't see the second gas to go into reactor double tech lab. But yeah, just gonna see an adept just coming up in towards the main. Hurricane just gonna be looking to see if he can perhaps pick up a little bit of damage. So look to maybe try and pick a little bit of damage, and again, the engineering bay just on the way down to. Sorry, there's really, I don't know what it is today. I'm a bit still and boring throughout the early stages of the game. I don't know. Today's just one of those days. It's like there's not much has happened since I last told all my anecdotes, last told all my stories, all the rest of it. Marine's going to take an adept down here to the side, so adept does fall pretty swiftly. 2 more gates in the main base. Forge and Twilight, the opening from Hurricane to follow up from. Well, it actually hasn't been any tech at all so far. Just going into a nice, super fast third Nexus. Actually, third Nexus finishing at 4 minutes. It was pretty crazy. It was really crazy. Factory is going to be finishing up or coming up as well. I mean, again, it's for the Terran player from JJAKJI's point of view. He's just getting into everything he wants and needs for the rest of the game, which is going to be those bio units, the medevacs to keep them healed up. 3 more gates from Hurricane. I mean, obviously he's on 3 bases already. What you can kind of do off of such a fast free base is you can really look to abuse your income lead and just throw down like a lot of gateways and go very aggressive from this point on, because you've just hit 3 bases so quickly that your economy is much stronger than your opponent might expect it to be, and that very quickly turns into a lot of units if you wanted to. So that's something we could see from Hurricane, especially with how aggressive he's been playing throughout the day. There you go. Gateway coming down to the right hand side of the map, so he's going to have that fast warp in towards the front. I'm just going to be seeing the starport on the way up from JJAKJI as well. So starport building next to that factory with a reactor on it. Combat shields starting up on the upgrade, and again the +1 weapons is also coming down right here. So JJAKJI with the +1 attack going to be coming through. And this gateway to the top side is going to be found actually by JJAKJI. That's a pretty huge deal. The thing is, it's pretty non-committal for Hurricane. Like, he's going up to these gates, but he's on 3 bases anyway, so you can just use it in terms of general production. So he actually cancels this gate to the right-hand side, and so he just doesn't really commit to the attack. Or he can still pressure forwards and have a little bit of a poke and see what's up, but he doesn't have to commit through an attack if he doesn't want to. Still no third CC from JJAKJI. I mean, it's just crazy how much later it's going to be for him. Throws down a 4th and 5th racks initially as well, which is obviously intended to be more aggressive, but the fact that Hurricane is on 8 gates, you know, it just, I don't know. Since in the entirety of Legacy of the Void, I won't lie, I really feel as though I've struggled to understand the TVP matchup. Because a lot of the time, I don't really understand how, the Terran player is meant to even be in the game. Because, Like, you look at this game, 3 bases for the pros players being up for 2.5 minutes. JJAKJI is only just going up into his 4th and 5th racks. It's games like this, I don't understand what you do as the Terran player. It's difficult, but Terran players do find a way. They're smarter than I am when I try and play Terran, as we're going to be seeing the Adepts just going to shade forwards. I mean, if they jump on top of this bio, which is already stimmed, Medevac's coming in, and the other two Medevac's actually coming back home. There's more Adepts just streaming across the map. Little bit of mines he does have to be careful of. Just going to have to be a little bit careful of that. Widow Mines will unburrow. You see the Adepts continue to fight these Marines. They're dropping off in the air. It's kind of weird, like the Adepts just reinforcing from across the map. How often do you see that from a Protoss player? Really not that often at all. Stalkers are coming in as well. Blink will finish shortly. And Hurricane, I don't know, I sort of feel as though he should be further ahead than he is. Is that just me? Adept will clean out this Marine, which got rid of the power at the very top side. And a second with Robo Facility and a Robo Bay coming into play as well, allowing the transition from a Hurricane to come into play too, pretty much as we saw him attempting to do in the last game. Well, he did get killed off pretty swiftly, so he has to be a bit more cautious maybe this time around. Observer trying to back away from this Terran army. One scan, and his vision will disappear. From having a lot of map control and vision, all of a sudden Hurricane is losing a lot of it. Taking a 4th base, pretty much building at the same time the 3rd CC is building from the Terran, and well, here we go. Widowmine's going to get taken down at the very front. They do burrow, and I guess obviously one of the things is because he's taking the bases so quickly, he's very much so reliant on a gateway-based army, which is not as efficient as a bio-based army. And so that is one of the ways in which the Terran player gets away with a much later 3rd CC than the Protoss. You'll be seeing again these Marines, Marauders just moving around, just going to reposition themselves. Still, this Protoss army though is very kind of scary. And I think JJAKJI has to be cautious with this army that's on the map. He's going to stim to the left side. Well, there's absolutely nothing to protect this 3rd base initially, and Hurricane's just going to give it up. Wow, JJAKJI's going to do a lot of damage. 14 workers. Pylon goes down, cancelling that huge warping that was about to help out massively. And that is a huge play. Blinks forwards, gets rid of the Liberator. Wants to target down the Medivacs now to just stop the lift and boost away. Isn't going to happen though. Widowmine, somehow grabs the edge of that army as well there. And JJAKJI will find another Widowmine this time. Does kill it in time. This time he blinks forwards, Stalker forwards. That poor Stalker sacrificed to make the world a safer place for the rest of the Protoss units. And as JJAKJI floats into, I still can't believe he's only floating in towards his 3rd base. Can't believe he's actually only floating in towards his 3rd base. We see the 2 Liberators will siege up as well. Nah. I don't know, like, Disruptors on the way. It feels as though Hurricane's getting to the more comfortable stage of the game. And I don't know, you see what I mean? Like, I don't feel as though Hurricane should have been struggling in this, but I guess that is just, again, the kind of efficiency of the Terran army against the Protoss army. I guess it's a bit better nowadays, the Protoss, when the Protoss goes for this tower with that Adept nerf. Just a little bit of extra health, less health to kind of chew through on the Adepts makes it a little bit more engageable for the Terran than kind of back at the start of Legacy. Stalker's trying to trade here, just blinking away towards the end. 2 Adepts around the side. Prism before got shut down pretty quickly, which is a pretty huge deal, as Disruptor will line up a shot. Get ready to fire if he sees the opportunity to. It's a very interesting map in the middle, this kind of like plateau, which is like the be-all and end-all almost of the center of the map. Creates, it's been creating an interesting dynamic so far. Here we go, Stalker's blinking to the side. I like that, as we see the Disruptor doesn't really hit too much, but he's getting rid of so many Liberators so quickly that I think this is a very one-sided fight in favor of Hurricane. And he blinks forwards to try and grab a little bit more on the follow-up. Disruptor's not really hitting too well there, but able to kind of, again, just force the Terran player back. This went nicely for Hurricane. He's got a lot of money in the bank right now as well, which he'll be looking to spend very shortly. Actually continue to push forwards. Where is the rest of JJAKJI's army? He's got a lot in the back of his mineral line. That's what he's missing. It did look rather small just on the 3rd base, so nice for him to gather the rest up here as well now. You see that Marine on the right-hand side tower does get taken down by these Adept Stalkers and the Disruptors. Another Widowmine going off here. Another Stalker does get picked away at. +2/+2 upgrades continue to come in with these couple of forges. Engineering Bay is on the way up as well, just to keep the, well, I guess go into the 2/2 upgrades at the same time. Do we have an armory? Do we have an armory? Yes, we do. It's just build up the 3rd base. A little bit of a vulnerable location, but I guess if you're losing the armory here, then you probably got bigger issues on your mind at the same time. 4 full medevacs through the top side of the map. A 5th base will come down as well for Hurricane now. So throwing the 5th base down here, and again, just going to see a little bit of this Marine Marauder stimming around. You can see a few Marauders just going to stim to the right side, and they will pick off these adepts nice and quickly. So, nice shutdown again. JJAKJI's been doing a good job shutting down the harassment potential of our Protoss player. Has really not let anything happen so far in this. So, that's been really, really nice. As again, these medevacs up here, they're just not going to be let into the main. Another pylon added on as well, just to make sure all the Stalkers here. And the thing is, it's justifiable by Hurricane because 17 Stalkers. Well, that's what, like 40 supply Protoss of Terran units? 17 Stalkers is what, like about 40 supply, so it's actually a justifiable amount to move into position now. Nice scan from JJAKJI. You can't just drop 4 medevacs in blindly. You need to make sure you're not dropping into Stalkers or something. Here we go, the rest of the army pushing forward as Disruptors are still going to be a big part of this, and Marauders there. Do pull away, but a little bit, well, it was nice on the first Disruptor shot. The second Disruptor shot, though, connected very well, cleaning it up nicely. Stalkers coming around the long way to get over here to help out, and, well, we need more Disruptors to fire in, because that's what's going to push back this bio. Without the bio being pushed back, the Stalkers will struggle to fight a little bit against this. Hurricane, of course, a single upgrade lead at the moment, takes down a Widowmine. Take down maybe another Widowmine. Nope, goes for the bio instead. He's losing the 4th base though. Again, pushing away with the Disruptors, and the Disruptors so far trading well enough. Blinks in, suddenly Liberators are just disappearing from the skies. The Marines and Marauders started to do a lot. Another Disruptor shot connects nicely. And actually now, mostly only medevacs remaining. No high ground vision to blink up to the high ground. Meanwhile, big warp into the south side. Going to shade in towards the mineral line, maybe pass towards the natural even. Actually not with much economy left at all, and the income lead is really now starting to fall into Hurricane's favor. In Game 4 of this series, he wins this, he wins the second WardiTV weekly in a row. And that would be something, again, only Sue has done so far. With another Disruptor shot towards the ramp. The Stalkers are getting rid of Liberators before they finish sieging, which is a huge deal. Blinking forwards, the Liberators are gone. JJAKJI is broken. And Hurricane is going to take the victory in the WardiTV Weekly 9. It's just a matter of JJAKJI realizing that this game is very much so over right now. There's a Warp Prism nearby somewhere as well, which... Warp Prism go down. JJAKJI scans left side base just to check the economy situation of his opponent. And that's going to be that. JJAKJI types out GG. Hurricane. 2 weeks in a row coming through